Hi, Ashley. So thank you for coming in today for supervision. What would be your supervision question for today?
It's kind of more like a general question.
Okay.
I'm starting to see a pattern when I'm doing counseling with my clients, and it's more like I just don't really know if I'm doing the right thing or if I'm taking it as deep as it needs to go with them. So it's kind of just more of maybe how can I get to that level?
So just correct me if I'm wrong. So you're having trouble finding meaning and getting deeper at a more meaningful level for them or for you?
I guess
Or
kind of
both?
both. I just want to
Okay.
feel like I'm doing like what I'm supposed to be doing, and also so they feel like they're getting something from the sessions.
Okay, so when this happens, just tell me a little bit about like what your feelings are about that because I just want to get a better picture of what's going on. Are you aware of it when it's happening when you're in the session, or is it after when you're reflecting on it?
I think it's a little bit of both. I'm like somewhat aware of it in the session, but I
Okay.
kind of just, if I bring it up, then I kind of maybe just try to skirt around it, and then afterwards is when I really start thinking about it.
Okay, so what I can help you with is understanding where you're coming from and what's occurring in the sessions. Is that how I can be helpful for you?
Yeah, that would be really helpful.
Okay, there's this model, and I think it would be very helpful for you. It's called the lifespan developmental model. And the goal of this is to just address a counselor's development across their professional career. So that can be from before when you're just thinking about being a counselor and just helping friends, all the way until you're a senior professional and you've been in the field for a really long time.
Okay.
So basically what that does is this just kind of gives you, it's kind of like a map. I think of it like a kind of like benchmarks. Like I'm here, and you continue to move across, just like with any type of lifespan model. As you get older and you gain more experience in the field, you become more comfortable, and different, I don't want to say crises, but different issues start to come up with, okay, where do I go from here, or things that you're struggling with. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the first phase is called a lay helper, and like I said, that's just friends helping you helping friends, excuse me. And then there's the phase two, and that's a beginning student. So that might have been you last year, in your first year of the program, kind of learning the techniques and the theories about it, and not really 100% confident in doing an individual counseling session. Right now, I feel like I would say that you're at phase three, and that's an advanced student. So that could be somebody who's well into their internship, which you are. I mean, you only have about 2 more months, and I think you've been doing a great job. But what's happening is obviously, according to this theory, it's very characteristic of where you are in your progression in your education as a counselor. So basically different things. I'm just going to read you a couple of different things about what characterizes the advanced student, and then we can discuss how that relates to your question, and hopefully that can be helpful for you. Okay, so basically the advanced student approaches counseling with a more cautious or conservative style, a little bit more hesitant, whether it's if I'm doing this right, am I doing this right? Is my supervisor going to think that's right? So things like that. It's a lot of thinking it's a lot of kind of noise in your head about, you may be able to conduct that counseling session, but you don't feel 100% confident in your skills. You're still kind of picking from the different things that you've learned from supervisors and classes, and feeling whatever you feel comfortable with. So what I like to characterize this one as is just feeling the waters, kind of testing the waters, and really gaining, kind of picking and choosing what I like, what I don't like in counseling, and developing your own style from the different theoretical approaches. So from what I just told you, do you think relates to what you're going through?
I think kind of what you just said about how it's me kind of picking and choosing right now, because I'm still trying to develop where I'm at theoretically and what I really like as a counselor. And so that definitely resonates with me a lot, just kind of feeling not confident in all of the things I'm doing because I'm picking and choosing from so many different
so
approaches.
like I said, testing the waters. How does maybe being able to try something new, but maybe you don't feel so comfortable with it. You don't feel 100% confident in trying that new approach. Okay, so based on what you just said, I'm curious to hear, like, what is having this information, how does that help you in what you're going to do in counseling sessions in the future? because I think before you go, I just think that it's helpful to know where you stand, and I also, just like counseling, normalizing and validating what somebody's going through is very important. Whereas I feel that it's important in supervision as well.
Yeah, I think that will probably be the most helpful, honestly, just kind of hearing you talk about it, and I'm on the normal, like, path of this developmental career, and so it makes a lot more sense. Like, I'm not doing something wrong, or it's kind of normal for me to be feeling like, well, is this okay? Is this maybe something I should do better?
So less of a desire to be approved. I mean, it's important to be doing something that you feel comfortable with, especially when we're working with these clients' lives. And I think that you're doing a great job. So I just want to let you know that you've been doing a great job so far, and it's totally normal to be feeling hesitant because you're still new to this. If you think about it, you just started the program a year and a half ago, a little bit over a year and a half ago. So this is normal, and I'm glad that you brought up that question. So if you did get past this phase, so the next phase is a novice professional, and that's a couple years after you graduated, you feel comfortable, you're kind of getting the feel of things, and you are kind of starting to get set in your ways. So knowing this, how can you apply that cognitively to what you do in the future in your counseling? So having this knowledge, how can you apply that to what's happening in your counseling? So knowing that you're like less confident because of where you are standing, maybe that could be considered something to work on.
Yeah, I think that's something I'm going to try to work on and be more aware of in sessions, like maybe when I feel myself stepping back from a question that pops in my head and thinking, well, maybe that's too soon to ask it, maybe just taking the risk if I have good rapport with the client, and maybe just kind of allowing myself to test the waters to where I find something that I am really comfortable and confident in, and maybe that will help me develop my approach better.
So like just trusting yourself, trusting your skills, trusting your knowledge. Good. So basically going back to your supervision question, which was how do you get deeper with clients? So I think that by bringing this up, we kind of confront the fact that confidence is definitely a big thing that comes into that.
Yeah, for sure.
And that will cause us to just take a halt and maybe not want to go as deep because we're not confident. What if we do go that deep, and what happens?
Yeah.
So I think that working on your confidence would be a really good thing. But also just keep in mind that being helpful to the client is the most important thing. As long as you're being helpful and asking meaningful questions, so maybe that's something that you can work on.
Yeah, that would be a good thing.
Just asking meaningful questions and remembering what you were saying, and then we can bring that up next time in supervision, and we can talk about how is this question meaningful? How did it make you feel? How are you feeling in that moment? Type thing.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
That would be helpful?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you again for coming into supervision. We'll bring that up next time, and hopefully you can keep this model in mind, because I just want you to know that you're right on track for where you're supposed to be, and you're doing a great job, and it's something that's just going to come over time. So just trust yourself and your instincts, and we'll meet next time, okay?
Okay, thank you. Oh, God.